When you see them walking down the aisle, what do you think you're going to feel?
Great joy, because the last time we were in Westminster Abbey, my heart sank when I saw those two boys walking behind the coffin.
What if one of the world's most celebrated singers revealed a hidden side of the beloved Princess Diana? Elton John's recent confession about Diana isn't just surprising, it's earth-shattering. For decades, their friendship was admired, but behind the public appearances, there was a side to Diana no one ever saw. Until now, Elton John, known for his honesty and deep emotional connection with Diana, has finally shared something that changes everything we thought we knew about the people's princess. Imagine a secret so profound that even the royal family was left speechless. Elton's words peeled back the layers of Diana's life, revealing moments of vulnerability, strength, and humanity that few ever witnessed. This isn't about the glamour or the headlines. This is about Diana, the woman behind the crown, behind the smile, behind the tragedy. Their friendship was always in the spotlight, but what wasn't seen were the private conversations, the silent support, and the shared pain that bonded them forever. Elton's confession isn't just another story, it's a window into Diana's soul. He spoke of her fears, her dreams, and her struggles, offering a glimpse into the life of a woman who carried the weight of the world with grace, but fought battles no one knew about. What secret did Elton John keep all these years? What truth about Diana could be so powerful that even now it sends shockwaves through the world? As we unravel this confession, you'll see Diana in a way you never have before, raw, real, and unforgettable. This is the story Elton John couldn't keep hidden any longer. Let's go back to where it all began, at a royal event that sparked a friendship like no other. Elton John and Princess Diana's first meeting wasn't just memorable, it was the beginning of a friendship that defied expectations. It was 1981, Prince Andrew's birthday party at Windsor Castle. The grand setting was filled with royalty and high society, but among the formalities, something unexpected happened. Diana, still new to the royal scene, and Elton, the flamboyant music icon, found themselves drawn to each other. Their connection was instant. Elton often described that night with a smile. The music was soft, the ballroom grand, but it wasn't long before the two of them decided to shake things up. They danced the Charleston together for 20 minutes straight, laughing and enjoying every moment. For those watching, it was a surprising sight. Diana, the poised young princess, letting loose with Elton, known for his vibrant personality. But for them, it was the start of something rare and beautiful. Elton's ties to the royal family weren't new. Long before Diana entered the picture, he had charmed Princess Margaret and the Queen Mother with his music. Princess Margaret, known for her rebellious streak, was a big fan of Elton's. The Queen Mother, often seen as the epitome of tradition, reportedly enjoyed dancing to his songs. Elton was a regular guest at royal events, playing music that even made the most formal gatherings feel alive. One of Elton's most humorous memories was dancing with Queen Elizabeth II herself. He recalled how, during that same party, the Queen clutched her handbag tightly as they danced to Rock Around the Clock. It was an image that stayed with him, a blend of royal grace and unexpected fun. Elton often joked about trying to keep a straight face during that moment, but it was impossible not to smile. It was this charm and ease that made Elton beloved, not just as a performer, but as a person. But that night wasn't just about dancing or laughter. It was about the beginning of a friendship that would stand the test of time. Diana's charm and warmth captivated Elton instantly. She had a way of making people feel comfortable, even in the most formal settings. Elton once said that Diana could walk into a room and make everyone feel like everything was okay, no matter what was going on. That night, as they danced and laughed, they found a connection that went beyond their public persona. Yet, even in those early days, there were hints of something deeper. Diana, behind her radiant smile, carried a weight that few understood. Elton, despite his flamboyant exterior, knew the pain of being misunderstood. Their bond wasn't just about fun, it was about understanding. As the night ended, neither of them knew that this friendship would become one of the most talked about relationships in history. But behind the laughter and the dances, there was always something more. Something that Elton would hold close to his heart for years. A truth that would remain hidden until now. As their friendship grew, so did the secrets they shared, until one revelation changed everything. Elton John and Princess Diana shared countless unforgettable moments that defined their unique bond. From glamorous events to quiet, heartfelt conversations, their friendship became one of the most cherished in the public eye. Yet, It was the moments away from the cameras that truly revealed the depth of their connection. One of the most iconic memories was their countless appearances at charity events. Both deeply passionate about helping others, they often supported each other's causes. Elton's work with AIDS awareness and Diana's dedication to numerous humanitarian efforts brought them together time and again. Elton admired how effortlessly Diana connected with people, especially those often overlooked by society. Her warmth wasn't an act, it was who she was. Whether it was comforting an AIDS patient or simply sharing a genuine smile, Diana had a gift for making people feel seen. Elton often spoke about how Diana's humor added a lightness to any room she entered. She wasn't just the people's princess because of her title, but because of her heart. He recalled how she would poke fun at the absurdity of royal life, making even the most formal gatherings feel like a casual get-together. Their friendship thrived on this shared sense of humor, with Elton appreciating her ability to laugh at the world around her, even when the weight of it felt unbearable. One unforgettable moment that captured their bond happened at one of Elton's famous dinner parties. Among the guests were Richard Gere and Sylvester Stallone, both Hollywood giants. Diana, recently separated from Prince Charles, found herself drawn to Richard Gere. They chatted effortlessly by the fireplace, their chemistry palpable, but not everyone was pleased. Sylvester Stallone, visibly irritated by their connection, grew more agitated as the evening went on. Elton, ever the observer, noticed the tension brewing. By the end of the night, Stallone was ready to confront Gere, creating an uncomfortable scene. Diana, however, remained calm and composed. Whether she was unaware of the drama or simply used to handling such situations with grace, her poise diffused the tension without a word. Elton later reflected on how men often lost their composure around Diana. It wasn't just her beauty, but an intangible quality that left even the most confident individuals unsettled. She had a presence that was both calming and electrifying, a rare combination that made her unforgettable. Their bond wasn't just built on public appearances or shared laughs. It was the quiet moments, late-night phone calls, shared confidences, and mutual support that truly defined their friendship. Elton admired Diana not just for her public persona, but for her private strength. She faced unimaginable pressures, yet she remained true to herself. Yet, even as their friendship blossomed, a storm was brewing beneath the surface. The pressures of their respective lives, the constant media scrutiny, and the complexities of their struggles began to take a toll. There were unspoken words, hidden pains, and unresolved tensions that neither could ignore. Their bond was strong, but it was not unbreakable. But what could cause a rift between two people so close? No one ever expected a rift between Elton John and Princess Diana. Their friendship, built on trust and shared moments, seemed unshakable. But one project changed everything. In 1997, Elton collaborated with designer Gianni Versace on a book called Rock and Royalty, meant to raise funds for his AIDS foundation. It was bold and artistic and featured photographs of celebrities, including members of the royal family, juxtaposed with images of semi-nude models. Diana initially agreed to write the foreword, lending her immense influence to the cause, but then, without warning, she pulled out. Elton was blindsided. He couldn't understand why Diana had withdrawn. The official explanation was that the content might upset the Queen, but Elton knew there was more to it. Diana had seen the book. She had expressed her admiration for it. So what changed? Frustrated and hurt, Elton decided to confront Diana directly. He wrote her a letter, candidly expressing his disappointment. He reminded her of the money her involvement could have raised for AIDS patients, money that was now lost. But it wasn't just the withdrawal that stung, it was the tone of her response. Diana replied with a formal letter beginning with "Dear Mr. John." To Elton, it was a dagger to the heart. This wasn't the Diana he knew. This wasn't the friend who danced with him at Windsor Castle, laughed at dinner parties, and shared her fears with him. What troubled Elton more than the fallout itself was what it signaled. He began to worry about Diana's state of mind. She seemed to be pulling away from those who genuinely cared for her, surrounding herself instead with people who told her what she wanted to hear. Elton, who had battled his demons, recognized the danger of isolation. He feared she was heading down a path where true friendship and honest advice were being replaced by shallow affirmations and fleeting company. Their friendship, once so effortless, became strained. Neither reached out. Pride, confusion, and perhaps a bit of stubbornness kept them apart. The silence between them grew louder with each passing day. It wasn't anger that created the distance, but a deep sense of hurt on both sides. Elton, known for his fiery temperament, felt betrayed. Diana, facing constant media scrutiny and personal struggles, felt misunderstood. Their silence was deafening until tragedy forced them back together. In July 1997, Gianni Versace was brutally murdered. The news shook Elton to his core. Grieving and lost, he was startled when his phone rang. On the other end was Diana. She had tracked him down reaching out from a yacht in Saint-Tropez. Her voice was calm but sincere. She asked if he had spoken to Gianni's sister, Donatella, and offered her condolence. Then, almost as if the past few months had never happened, she apologized. "It was silly," she said. "We should be friends again." In that moment, the pain of the past dissolved. But even as they reconnected, neither could have imagined what heartbreak was waiting just around the corner. And then came a moment of heartbreak that reunited them forever. Gianni Versace's death was a shock that rippled through the worlds of fashion, music, and royalty. For Elton John, it was a personal loss that left him shattered. Versace wasn't just a designer, he was a close friend, someone Elton trusted and admired. The news of Gianni's brutal murder in front of his Miami mansion felt surreal. But amidst the grief, something unexpected happened, something that would heal a broken friendship. Elton was lost in sorrow when his phone rang. The voice on the other end was unmistakable. It was Diana. She had tracked him down despite the distance that had grown between them. Calling from Dodi Fayed's yacht in Saint-Tropez, her tone was calm but filled with emotion. She asked if he had spoken to Donatella Versace and offered her condolences. Then, almost hesitantly, she said the words Elton had been longing to hear. "I'm sorry, it was silly, wasn't it? We should be friends again." At that moment, the tension that had clouded their friendship vanished. Grief has a strange way of bringing people together, and Gianna's death did just that. Elton and Diana, both mourning the loss of a dear friend, found comfort in each other once more. Their phone call wasn't filled with long explanations or rehashed arguments. It was simple, sincere, and exactly what they needed. At Versace's funeral, Diana and Elton sat side by side, their bond now stronger than ever. Cameras captured the poignant moment when Diana leaned over to console Elton, whispering something that made him smile through his tears. Even in the depths of their sorrow, they found moments of lightness, a shared glance, a soft laugh, a quiet understanding that words couldn't express. Elton later recalled that despite the grief, there was a sense of peace in having Diana back in his life. They exchanged letters soon after, with Diana offering to become a patron for Elton's AIDS Foundation and asking him to support her work with landmine victims. Their friendship, once fractured, was now whole again. But this time, it felt even more profound, as if they both knew that time was fleeting. Their reconciliation wasn't just about forgiveness. It was about love, trust, and the unspoken bond they shared. Diana's warmth and compassion reminded Elton of why he cherished her so deeply. She had an innate ability to bring comfort to those around her, even when she was hurting. Elton, in turn, became a pillar of support for Diana, someone she could rely on when the world felt too heavy. Yet, even after Diana's death, Elton held on to a secret, until now, a secret that would reveal a side of Diana the world had never seen. A secret that would change how we remember the people's princess forever. What was the secret that Elton John carried for decades, only to reveal now? Princess Diana's death on August 31, 1997, left the world in collective mourning. For Elton John, it was a devastating blow. The woman who had brought so much light into his life was gone. The news came to him in the early hours of the morning. A fax machine of all things delivered the heartbreaking message. Confused and shaken, he turned on the television. The images that flooded the screen confirmed his worst fears. Diana, the friend he had just reconciled with, had died in a tragic car crash in Paris. Elton was overwhelmed with grief. He recalled feeling numb, unable to process the reality that Diana was no longer there. Just weeks before, they had spoken about their plans to meet for lunch in London. Now that lunch would never happen. The memories of their friendship, their laughter, and their shared moments became a painful reminder of what was lost. When it was announced that Elton would perform at Diana's funeral, it felt fitting. His music had always been a source of comfort, and his friendship with Diana was known to the world. But what many didn't know was that the royal family initially resisted the idea. They believed that Candle in the Wind, originally written for Marilyn Monroe, was too sentimental for the occasion. It was Reverend Dr. Wesley Carr, Dean of Westminster, who pushed back. He argued that Elton's performance would resonate with millions who were grieving, offering a moment of solace. His persistence paid off. and Elton was given the green light. Rewriting Candle in the Wind for Diana was no easy task. Bernie Taupin, Elton's longtime collaborator, adapted the lyrics to honor Diana's memory. The line, "Goodbye Norma Jean," became "Goodbye England's Rose," capturing the nation's sorrow. On the day of the funeral, Elton stood before the world, struggling to hold back tears. Every note he played, every word he sang, was a tribute to his dear friend. That performance became one of the most unforgettable moments in modern history. It wasn't just a song, it was a collective farewell. Millions watched as Elton poured his heart out, giving voice to the grief so many felt but couldn't express. The single went on to sell over 33 million copies worldwide, becoming the best-seller chart single of all time. But for Elton, it wasn't about records or recognition. It was about honoring Diana. Yet, even as the world mourned, Elton held a piece of Diana's story close to his heart. A story he never shared, a secret he kept for decades, waiting for the right moment to reveal it. His confession would unveil a side of Diana that had remained hidden, a side that showed her vulnerability, her fears, and her unwavering strength. And now, Elton John's confession reveals a side of Diana that changes everything we thought we knew. Elton John's recent confession about Princess Diana has left the world in awe. After decades of silence, Elton revealed a side of Diana that the world never saw, a side filled with unspoken struggles, hidden fears, and quiet kindness that often went unnoticed. His words painted a portrait of a woman who, despite being adored by millions, battled profound loneliness behind closed doors. Elton shared that Diana often felt trapped within the royal family. The weight of her duties, the constant scrutiny, and the pressures of maintaining a perfect image left her feeling isolated. She confided in him about her desire to escape the confines of royalty, to live a life where she could simply be herself. Elton admitted that, despite her radiant smile and charm, Diana was often overwhelmed by the expectations placed upon her. She longed for freedom, for normalcy, something that always seemed just out of reach. But what struck Elton the most was Diana's boundless compassion. Behind the scenes, away from the cameras, Diana's kindness knew no limits. She would spend hours visiting hospitals, holding hands with patients, and offering comfort to those in need. Elton confessed that Diana never sought recognition for these acts. She did them out of genuine love and empathy. He recalled moments when she would call him, not to talk about her troubles, but to ask how she could help others. Her humanity, he said, was her greatest strength. Yet Diana's vulnerability was something Elton never fully revealed until now. She often felt misunderstood, even by those closest to her. The constant media intrusion into her life left her feeling exposed and fragile. Elton admitted that Diana would sometimes call him late at night just to hear a friendly voice. Those conversations, filled with laughter, tears, and honest confessions, revealed a woman who was desperately searching for peace. One of the most poignant moments in Elton's confession was his recollection of Diana's fears about the royal family. She worried about the impact of her choices on her sons, William and Harry. She feared that the same pressures she faced would one day burden them. Elton revealed that Diana often felt like an outsider within the royal circle, struggling to find her place while staying true to herself. Her battles were not just with the media, but also within the walls of the palace. Elton's words stripped away the glamour and mystique surrounding Diana's life, showing her as a woman with hopes, fears, and dreams. He admitted that keeping this side of Diana a secret for so long wasn't easy, but now he felt it was time for the world to see Diana not just as a princess, but as a human being who gave so much while carrying so many burdens. This revelation reshapes how we see Diana forever. She was more than the people's princess. She was a woman who loved deeply, hurt silently, and lived courageously. But what does this confession mean for Diana's legacy and the people she left behind? Even after Princess Diana's death, Elton John has never stopped honoring her memory. His love for Diana didn't end when the world lost her. It transformed into a lifelong commitment to keeping her legacy alive. Through his work, his words, and his unwavering support for her sons, Elton has ensured that Diana's spirit remains present in the hearts of millions. Elton's charity work, particularly through the Elton John AIDS Foundation, has always been a tribute to Diana's compassion. He often spoke about how her fearless advocacy for marginalized communities inspired him to push harder for change. Diana's visits to AIDS patients, holding their hands when others were too afraid, left an indelible mark on Elton. He felt a deep responsibility to continue her work, raising millions for AIDS research and support. all while keeping Diana's memory at the core of his mission. His bond with Prince William and Prince Harry is another testament to his loyalty to Diana. Over the years, Elton has maintained a close relationship with both princes, offering them the same warmth and support their mother once gave him. In 2007, during the concert for Diana at Wembley Stadium, Elton shared the stage with William and Harry, celebrating what would have been Diana's 46th birthday. It wasn't just a performance, it was a heartfelt tribute from a man who knew her beyond the titles and the headlines. Elton's public tributes to Diana are frequent and touching. Every year, on the anniversary of her death, his social media posts reflect his enduring love for his dear friend. 20 years ago today, the world lost an angel, he once wrote, accompanied by a photo of them together. His words, simple yet profound, resonate with those who still mourn Diana's loss. But Elton's dedication goes beyond words. He has been an outspoken critic of the media's relentless pursuit of the royal family, especially Harry and Meghan. Elton has drawn parallels between the press's treatment of Diana and the harassment faced by her son and daughter-in-law. His defense of Harry's privacy, particularly after the birth of Archie, was a clear stand against the same forces that once tormented Diana. Elton's voice has been a shield, echoing Diana's fight for privacy and respect. Elton's confession about Diana's hidden struggles wasn't just a revelation, it was a gift to the world. By sharing her fears, her kindness, and her humanity, he gave us a deeper understanding of the woman behind the crown. His words allowed us to see Diana not just as a princess, but as a mother, a friend, and a beacon of love in a world often devoid of it. Elton's confession not only revealed a hidden side of Diana, but also ensured her legacy remains alive through truth and love. His story reminds us that even in death, Diana's light continues to shine, illuminating paths for those who need it most. This confession will echo through history because some truths can never be silenced. If you were touched by this story, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more stories that reveal the untold truths behind the world's most iconic figures.